Hi guys, let me show us how to make this corset loop. You can use it for posture, you can use it for corset. This is actually my first time and I explored different sizes and different way of folding it to see different results. I'm very sure you can do better than this, so let's just get right into it. So here are the things that I'm going to be needing. So the first thing you need is a regline boning, also known as a sewable boning. Then you need a piece of fabric. I'm going to use this one for the loop. It's about 1.5 inch wide. Then I'm going to need these two pieces. One is going to serve as the main fabric and the other one is going to serve as a lining. After this, you fold this piece of fabric this way. You make it as long as you need. Then you're going to stitch it down. So after stitching like this, you're going to cut off the excess, just like you see me doing. Basically, I'm just trying to create a loop. Okay, so once you're done, you're going to turn the loop around just like this. So I have a video on how to turn a loop. You might want to check it, and you can also just look at this one that I'm doing here. So once you're done with the loop, you're going to press it with a pressing iron. And if you do not have an access to an iron, you can simply just make use of it like that. So I'm going to be using all of this. I might not finish it and I might also exhaust it. Just like I've said before, this is going to be like a lining and the actual fabric. Then you cut your boning exactly the size of your fabric. Okay, so then here on this, you're going to mark the points where we are going to have our loop. So before you start, you're going to measure half an inch. That is going to be like a starting point. Then from the half an inch, you're going to measure 1 inch till you exhaust your boning, just like you see me doing. So from this 1 inch, you're going to mark another one. This is where you are going to be placing the loops, and the 1 inch is just going to be like a space in between. So you're going to continue doing it all the way down, just like you see me here, and I have half inch below. Okay, so the next thing now is to start sewing this loop on it. So you can either cut this into pieces or you just make use of it as a whole like this. So if you want to use it as a single piece, you're going to fold this way. Once you stitch it, instead of cutting off, you're not going to cut it off. Okay, so you're going to place it on this first line where you mark the half inch, and the second part is going to still be in between that 1 inch. It's going to be before the next marking. I just hope you get my point. Just look at what I'm doing. Okay, so you can either cut your 2 inches. Okay, 2 inches is going to be enough. And what I'm going to be doing here, I'm going to be doing different sizes, okay, just to make us see the differences. But if you want it to be even, you're going to cut the same measurement. So instead of cutting it out, you just continue sewing like that. So this one, I'm just going to continue. So you can cut 2 inches, 1.5, 1 inch, depending on how wide you want the space in between your loops to be. I just hope you understand what I'm saying. So now we are going to demonstrate, and I want us to take a closer look. So the first thing now, I'm going to place the beginning. I'm going to be using 2 inches. Sorry, I'm going to mark, yes, I'm going to measure 2 inches, and that is what I'm going to work with first. So you make sure that when you are sewing, you do not sew existing. Your sewing does not exist at 2 inches. So the first thing we want to do, we want to start by sewing on the edge of the boning. So when you are sewing, you're going to measure your 2 inches like this and mark the point where it's going to stop. If you want to use that single piece of rope to make all your loops, okay, you're going to continue sewing. Do not forget the lines that you marked earlier. That's where you're going to be placing the fabric. So instead of cutting off, you're just going to fold it back like this. Okay, you stitch it, you sew it, then you measure your 2 inches again. Okay, you mark that point, then you bring it back to this line that you mark and continue sewing. Okay, the way you place the rope actually determines how your loop is going to come out. So I'm going to be using 2 inches, and I'm going to be using another measurement so that we'll see. So when you are doing this, you need to make sure that the placement on the fabric aligns if you want to get the same or accurate measurement. Okay, so you just have to keep doing it like that, and the way you fold the first one is the way you are going to fold the other one, and so on like that. This is what it's going to look like. So fortunately, my fabric is not enough to do everything, so I'm just going to stop here. It's just going to be like a sample, right? So on the other side of the bone, you're going to stitch just to secure the other parts, like so. Then once you're done, you're going to cut off any excess from the other side. So as you can see, the placement really matters. If you place the first one wide, the other one has to be wide as well. So at the end, I'm going to show us the difference. This is what it's going to look like. So when you are placing the fabric, you make sure that, so the reason why some people do not like this method is because if care is not taken, it might be wider than, some parts might be wider than each other, just like this one that I have here, as you can see. So that is why it is advisable for you to just cut out the 2 inches and you fold as you prefer. Okay, because this one I have 2 inches, I have 2.5, and I have 1.5. okay, so let's assume this is going to be the lining. You're going to place it on it like so, then you're going to sew it. Oh, this is what it's going to look like. So the boning is going to be sandwiched in between the actual fabric and the lining. So you're going to place the actual fabric on it like so, then you stitch on your 0.5 sewing allowance or any added allowance you have. Then this is what it's going to look like by the time you're done. Okay, so after sewing this, now you can just go ahead and run a stitch on it to secure the 2 fabrics together. So guys, I already secured those parts, and this is what it looks like. This is what exactly is going to look like. So the placement of your I'm actually trying this thing for the first time. So the placement of your loops matters a lot, and as you can see, they are different. I place it in a different way and it gives me a different result. Some of the openings are wide, some are closed, and some are smaller, some are bigger. So I just had to try different method. I'm very sure you're going to do better than this. So guys, that'll be all for today's tutorial. Thank you very much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, drop your thoughts in the comment section. Until we meet again in my next one. Bye bye.